Hey everyone, so this past Monday, which was what date?
The 8th.
The 8th, we had a scare. I know there's probably going to be people that rail on our negligence, but it is what it is. And for those of you that follow us on Facebook, already know what happened. And it was pretty scary, but I'm just going to read you I'm just going to read you. This is too funny. He just walks over to my chair and climbs in and sits down like a person. It's very funny. If he's still there when we're done,
We'll show it to you.
we'll show you. But I'm just going to read you what I wrote on Facebook. And I am, and Tony is, willing to take whatever repercussions that the YouTube world has. It is what it is. It happened. It's over. And the only thing now is to move forward. And that's all we can do. So...
And we want to do this. Once you hear the story, you'll understand what, after Stuart reads what we posted on Facebook after this happened. But we want people to share this video. Share this video, share this video, share this video. To get it out there to as many people as possible. To warn other people of the high danger that we put ourselves in. And hopefully they will not put themselves in this kind of danger.
So I'm actually gonna read the whole post that I wrote, and it'll take a minute to get to what really happened, but this is the post. I failed miserably, and I mean miserably. This will be a long-winded post. I have said before, for those of you that are following our journey, you not only get to watch our successes, but also our failures. For those of you who are new to the group, my name is Stuart. I am Tony's husband, who lives vicariously through her Facebook account. Please read the whole post. I totally expect to be totally bashed, berated, called many four-letter words, and blah, blah, blah. By the end of the post, I am choosing to leave comments on for those keyboard jockeys to get it out of their system. Feel free to say anything you think might be necessary. You won't hurt my feelings. There is probably nothing you can say that will change how horrible I already feel. I will probably not respond to any comments, as I feel bad enough that my actions holy crap.
That my actions of,
I will get around to it, my complacency, and my attitude of being invincible. But I have been humbled. Someone or something was watching out for us. It is very sad that a very near-death experience is what it took to open my eyes. Here's the story. I poisoned us. I have been feeling a bit sluggish for a couple of days, and Tony felt exhausted Sunday afternoon and evening. The signs were already there. At around 1:43 this morning, Tony woke. She had to go to the restroom. By the time she reached the bottom of the ladder,
sorry.
putting on her shoes and letting Goose out, she had already started to feel the effects of carbon monoxide poisoning. She told me she was barely able to make it to the door. Once outside, she felt better, but needed to sit on a rock for a few minutes to gain composure. Not realizing what was happening to her body, Tony came back into the cabin and started calling my name, saying something is wrong. I feel dizzy. Tony speaking, I feel dizzy. I got up, climbed down the ladder.
Sorry. Didn't catch my cue.
Told her to sit down and breathe. This was a huge mistake. It also didn't make complete sense until we put two and two together. Shortly after telling Tony to breathe, I started to feel the effects and started to breathe in through my nose and out through the mouth. All I remember is Goose being overly excited, jumping on us, and licking our faces, trying to get our attention. Goose knew something was wrong, as did the cats. They were outside once the door was open. I got up to go outside to use the restroom, and Tony told me she saw me trying to steady myself, and then with my back against the wall, I slid down to the floor as I passed out. I really don't remember anything. Memory loss is a sign of carbon monoxide poisoning. I do faintly remember Tony saying something about CO, carbon monoxide, and opening up windows. Around that time I had come back from oblivion with the help of Tony and Goose and made it outside to use the restroom. As I was outside, I felt the need, I guess, to lay down, so in high 30s, low 40s, I decided to lay on the ground. Around that time, Tony called 911. I was having a conversation with Tony, but I couldn't tell you what that conversation was. I do remember being coherent and having the conversation. I remember trying to give the 911 operator directions to our place. Google only gets you halfway up here. I then stated that we will drive down the road and meet the paramedics. Per 911 operator request, we closed up the windows so that they could get a proper CO reading with their meter. We met the paramedics just before our creek crossing. My saturation was 25% and Tony's was 22%. I guess what all that means was oxygen levels in our blood were in the high 70s. Apparently that's not good at all. Ugh. We brought the fire department back up to the cabin, and the reading on their meter in the cabin just inside the door was 119 parts per million. And by the propane fridge was 135 parts per million. Now, I'm not sure if the reading on their meter is multiplied by 1,000 or what, but we are getting conflicting info from the Google. They turned off the propane to the fridge, let the cabin air out for 10 minutes or so, and talked with us to make sure that we were doing okay. They went back, checked the reading with the meter again, and got a 19. Closed up the windows, came back out to talk for a few more minutes. The next reading they got in the cabin was close to 20. According to them, less than 25 was okay. He stated that 25 was the danger zone. This is still all very foggy to me, and these numbers don't make much sense. They are based on parts per million, but from what the Google states and the numbers that the firemen gave are not jiving with me. Nonetheless, I will get this little conundrum figured out. We learned our lesson and bought a CO detector. Right there if you can see it. Uh-oh. There it is. And the fridge exhaust pipe has been cleaned out. The source of our problem. My laziness, or whatever you want to call it, the exhaust vent should have been done a long time ago. Cleaned, that is. We feel very fortunate to be here. I know better. Nothing is worth losing a life for. This is one of those things that we all know is dangerous. Or we all know how dangerous carbon monoxide poisoning is. But until it's a been there, done that scenario, you just don't realize how bad it can actually be.
Yep.
Or maybe that's just me. Even though Mom had told me on many occasions that I'm her child with 9 lives, I feel blessed to be here today. Even more blessed to have Tony and Goose still here with me. We will definitely be implementing more safety checks beyond the CO detector. We would like to have an oximeter to check ourselves if need be. Also a CO meter to check the oxygen quality in the room. But first thing will be taking care of is figuring out how to direct vent the fridge to the outside. Whether we will vent the exhaust outside or build an enclosure with an air inlet and exhaust, this will be something that we need to figure out fairly soon. Also, finding an app for our phones that if you don't check in at a certain time, it will contact an emergency number you decide on, or numbers. Looking into life flight insurance, you can buy helicopter medical insurance. Life flight will come to you. Being so far removed from society, I have been so humbled. Please, please, please learn from this. This was truly a scary event. Learn all that you can about CO poisoning and how it settles and rises in your structure. Do you smoke? Smoking means that you are less tolerant of carbon monoxide. Do you drink? How much? This plays a role in how your body handles the poison. Do you drink enough water? Staying well hydrated can help your body recover quicker. The only cure for CO poisoning is oxygen, and in extreme cases, a hyperbaric chamber. Do you panic or stay calm? Staying calm and controlling your heart rate and breathing will play an important role with the outcome. Instinct, when in a situation of not having enough oxygen, is big, deep breathing. Well, I found out the hard way that when CO poisoning is involved, what you want to do is the very opposite. Slow your breathing down, try to keep your heart rate low, and move outside. When they say it's a silent killer, it truly is. You won't even realize what is happening. I will be immersing myself into all things about CO poisoning. Please do the same. Take care. Have a good evening. Yeah, it was kind of a rough situation. And if we can help 1, 2, 3 people, that's all it is. Because you don't. And I don't know how many other people realize it, but carbon monoxide, you get delirious and confused and dizzy, and then you pass out. You don't even realize it. It doesn't hurt. There's no pain. You just pass out.
This all happened in just a matter of minutes. And when I'm talking minutes, I think when I looked on my phone, because I woke up at 1:43, I can't remember what time we called 911. It was like
what, 1:56, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was just such a short period of time. It was crazy because as soon as I told Stuart, I'm like, the only thing that makes sense is that we were being affected when we were sleeping. We were breathing it in. It was already affecting our body, but because we were sleeping, your body's not moving, your blood's not flowing through your body as quickly as it is.
Heart rate's slower.
Yeah, and your heart rate is slower.
Breathing is slower.
So then when I got up, all that's activated even more, and so by the time I got down to the bottom of the ladder and putting my shoes on, just from that point to letting Goose out and trying to get to the front door, I couldn't believe how quick it had hit me. And then the same thing with Stuart. When he came down to help me, it was just so quick.
Very fast.
Very fast and really scary. If we wouldn't have woke up, if I wouldn't have had to go pee, we wouldn't be standing here right now.
We could have been dead. Very well could have been dead. You know, in CO, it's lighter than air, but not much lighter than air. I'm not sure what you call the measurement, but you know, it's slightly lighter than air, and it stacks itself. When it's warm, it'll stack itself higher. So me passing out, I guess, on the floor was a good thing because it wasn't stacked up on the floor yet. So it's going to stack itself up from the top down, I guess. And so there was you know, more oxygen on the ground. Thank God. Thank God I didn't pass out up in the loft.
Mm-hmm.
You know, could you see Tony trying to get me down from up there? She probably would just throw me down and broke my neck.
No.
All right. Anyway, do you have anything else?
No. We just we want to warn people. You hear that carbon monoxide is dangerous and that it's the silent killer, and it is. But for people that haven't actually been through any sort of carbon monoxide poisoning, you really don't know.
Yeah.
How scary it is. I was super scared. I've never been that scared before. We could have both lost our lives, and nobody would have known. Nobody would have known.
No one would have known for weeks, probably.
Yep.
You know, and this is one of those situations where ignorance is not bliss. It's about education, teaching yourself. You know, you just never know.
And teaching others.
And teaching others.
We've shared that post to our group, Breaking Free Off Grid, Facebook, and Shed to Cabin on Facebook. We had a lot of really good comments, people commenting saying, we put in our CO detector today after reading your story. And that's why we're doing this, is because we want to make sure that people are taking it seriously and they're protecting themselves and they're protecting their families, and don't take that risk. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Off-grid or off-grid. Off-grid or on-grid. Don't take the risk.
It's not worth it, you know, and look at the recommendations of how high they say to put it, where to put them. You know, even if you got, you know, I did some research, and even if you got one of those ones that come with your house where it's hardwired in, you know, it's a CO detector and smoke detector, you know, those are all fine and dandy, but carbon monoxide and smoke are two separate entities. So they're trying to make it convenient for everybody. But get actual CO detectors. That's all I can say. All right, guys.
Thank you for watching.
We're out.
Please share.
Subscribe, ask
subscribe.
questions, beat me up.
Ask questions. Don't beat him up. He's beat himself up more than he needs to. I keep telling him it's my fault too, not just his.
I'm a grown man. I can handle it.
So,
A couple of words aren't going to hurt my feelings.
give me a kiss. All right, guys.
Peace.